reject, and how to express our sympathy and condolences, and how to lodge a complaint and tender the apologies. And this today we are going to start for the block 3, preparation for the interviews, a very important topic. Let's wait for 2 more minutes, then we'll just start the class.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
In those 5 minutes, can you explain a little bit about block 2 because I'm not able to attend class.
Okay. About
Thank
block
you.
2.
Oh, report writing basically.
Okay. How to accept the invitations and how to reject the invitations. There are two types of accepting the invitations, the formal and the informal, and the same with the rejecting the invitations. Oral invitation and the written invitations. Oral part, what are the main language expressions we use for the invitations, and the written part, what are the language expressions we used. Okay, last 10 minutes I'll start about this. And also in the previous class, somebody asked about the letter writing concept. I would like to explain about the letter writing concept also as well in the last 5-10 minutes. Let's start our class. Welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University online classes, functional English, class 3. And this is our last class. And we are going to discuss about block 3 and the important topic that is for the preparation for interviews. See, our main purpose of the studies is to gain knowledge and as well as to do the job. The end of this career means and in the end of the studies, what is the main theme is to do a job. So to get a job, what is the main thing we have to prepare for? Interview. Interview is a main, like how we write the exams. It's like an exam. We have to attend for the interview, and there how we have to speak, and how we have to prepare our CV, resume. What is resume, what is CV, and what is the difference between them, and what is meant by cover letter. Mm, and what are the techniques you have to use while attending the interview, and what is the background preparation you have to do before attending a interview, and what are the things you have to do at the time of interview, what is your body language should be, what is the language you have to use. All these things we are going to discuss in this block 3. So let's start our class. You can mute yourself, everyone. Yes, everyone muted. You have any doubt, you can unmute and you can speak. I'm going to share my screen. Let's start. The first main important topic is how to prepare CV. So do you know what is meant by CV? Or you know what is the difference between resume and CV? Yes, curriculum, it is a correct answer. Correct. And you know, you heard the words like resume and CV. So do you think any difference between resume and CV? Is there any difference between resume and CV? Okay, I'll go on. Okay. See, generally both CV means curriculum vitae or the biodata, and the resume mean the same thing. But personal information regarding us we will include in this CV or the resume. But in the resume, we'll give only the some important points. But in the CV, we will like describe. Like suppose if I completed my graduation, I completed my graduation and so institution, university, in the year, and I got the percentage. So everything will be detailed explained in the CV. But when it comes to the resume, it will be like some impersonal, like only I have completed this, completed my post graduation, intermediate, 10th, etc., etc. I worked here, Only the simple things like no detailed explanation. But in the CV, it will be like complete explanation. Understood? See, what are the major things, sections of a CV? So what are the main things that we should include in a CV? Is first one, personal information, educational qualification, other qualifications or skill obtained, work experience, extracurricular activities and awards, one if any, and references. So what comes under the personal information? Our name, address, contact details, date of birth, phone number, mail ID, marital status, nationality, etc. comes under the personal information. This should be clearly mentioned in our CV. The first thing will be like this: name and address you have to mention, contact details, date of birth, sex, marital status, and the nationality. This comes under the personal information, which you have to be mentioned in the CV. Next, let's come for the educational qualification. So educational qualification, as I told you before, examination board. First, you completed your SSC. In which year you completed? Year of passing, name of the school or name of the institution, and how many marks you obtained. Again, for the HSC. Next, for the graduation, post graduation, or any other things, BTech, diploma, whatever you have done, whatever you have completed, in which year of passing, and name of the institution, and the percentage of the marks you obtain. This should be comes under the educational qualification. Additional qualifications or the skills. What do you think are the additional qualifications? Instead of, apart from the studies, you have an extra additional qualifications like system operating or typewriting, shorthand, longhand, or you have so many courses in the system, like computers, Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, Java, not that, etc., etc. That comes under the extra qualifications. Apart from the studies, what are the extra qualifications you have? That should be mentioned. Next comes under the work experience. Have you worked before in other institutions? You have to mention clearly. I have mentioned, I have worked in this institution from year June to May, from 2019 to 20. And the name of the institution is so and so school or college. And what is the designation you have worked for, like a teacher or a clerk, etc., etc., manager, secretary, etc., etc. Whatever the designation should be, it should be mentioned. And description of the work, what you have done. Like, suppose if you are teacher, you will be in the teaching, which subject you are teaching, like English, social, math, etc. Suppose if you are a system operator, what are the job you have done in that? You have to mention it clearly, like data entry or Excel work, etc. Extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities. Suppose you are uh, participated in any essay writing competitions, or any you have done um, like NCC, or participated in the Republic Day parade, or you are the member of the college team that won the any championship, etc. Whatever you have experienced it in the extracurricular activities, you have to mention it very clearly. At the end of the CV, what are the references? Generally, you references, if anyone is there to refer to the same job, you know the known person, are you referring, you have to mention their name. Understood till here? Any doubts? Okay, let's move. Important language points to be noted when we are writing a CV. See, first, what we have to do and what we have not to do. First, we have to mention all the important educational qualifications you have. Like, suppose you have completed your graduation, first mention from the SSC, HSC graduation, or you have done any extra operating systems, you have to mention that very clearly. And what are the like essay writing competitions, championship you have won in any game, sport, etc. You have to mention it very clearly. So you have to mention first educational qualifications, then include your work experience. What are the work experience you have in the previous, and list of the major extracurricular activities as a projects as a multi-dimensional person. You should give references of people who know you well. Last it comes under the reference. You have to refer their name, whom you know, and you should double check the information given for any possible mistakes. So whatever information you are giving, that should be real. It should not be fake. It should be real, and there should be no possible mistakes. And what are the things that you should not do? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Don'ts. What are the things you should not do in your CV? You should not include your CV any views which are political or the religious or the controversial. They should not be mentioned at all. Do not include your personal view about your previous job. Suppose previous you worked in some other for the institution or another organization. You should not share your opinion, like, or should not share any negative thing about your previous job. They may think, so this person, so and so person worked there and came to the same institution again. If they leave this job again, they will do the same thing for this institution also. So they may think in this way. So you should not say anything negative way, or you should not share your personal view about that institution, previous institution which you have worked. Like, that is a very bad institution, they have treated me like this, they have. You should not share anything like that. And do not comment negatively about your previous. Okay. Do not write the expectation about your salary in the CV if it is not a non-government private organization to whom you are applying. In some cases, they may raise a question. See, usually we prepare our CV and we'll go for the interviews. Some institutions, they have their own type of criteria, and they will give the paper which we have to be filled. In that, they will have some columns, they have some expectations, and they have some expectations what they have to know about us. Like, whatever things we mentioned in the CV, the same thing will be there, but they may write some more. Like, how about suppose if you are going for interview for a teacher job, they may ask a question like, you have experience from past 4 5 years. So suppose if you have given grade 5 and the child is doing so and so in the class, what is your treatment towards that child? How you react to the situation? The questions may ask like this. Suppose if you are going for a software interviews, like, they may ask the questions related to that. And suppose if you got this type of situation, what will be your reaction? How you react? The questions may like this. And you should not write the expected salary on your CV. If they may ask in there, you can mention it. And list of the some of the courses. Okay, that's not related. Till here, understood everyone? Any doubts in this? We'll go for the next topic. So no doubts, we can continue. Yes. Okay. How to write a covering letter. This is our next topic, unit 8. How to write a, see, we prepared our CV or a resume. Like, see, I want a job. I'm searching a job in a paper ads. I like one ad, so I want to send my resume to that so and so organization. First, I prepare my CV or resume, whatever, and I want to send that to the so and so address. I couldn't send it directly like just a resume. I have to prepare a covering letter, and I can attach this CV to the covering letter so that I can send it. So this is called a covering letter. And how we have to write a covering letter? Let's see. See, we prepare our CV, important information about our education, its qualification, extracurricular activities, job experience. So once our CV is ready, we need to send the institution or a company to whom we are applying. But we cannot send it, the CV generally, we send it along with a formal covering letter. So this formal covering letter, this introduces the employees briefly. So this includes the structure and format of the covering letter. Let's go. Personal letter. First, we have to see the difference between the personal letter and the formal letter in this covering letter. A formal letter is different from a personal letter. Personal letter is a name of indicates about the personal matters, whereas a formal letter is impersonal. Means the personal letter which we, as from these units, we are learning the personal letters which we write for our friends, family members or family friends, etc. Formal letters for the applying for a job or the higher authorities, like we use formal letters. So in your textbook page number 104, you have given the two types of letters, 8.2 unit, textbook page number 104, you have these examples. First one is a first one is a personal letter and second one is a formal letter. You can see the main differences. So in the formal letter, you have to mention the address first, then date, then to the person. If you know the name of the person, you can clearly mention the name of the person. If you don't know the name of the person, you can mention respected sir or dear sir, etc. and the address. And the subject should be mentioned in the formal letter, whether you are writing the covering letter or the formal letter or a leave letter. Any letter, when you are writing for the formal way, you have to mention the subject. What is the subject? What is this letter regarding? So here request for some information regarding your advertisement in the Times of India. Dear sir, I am writing you to your connection with advertisement that appeared recently in the Times of India for a teacher of English. I am a trained teacher and I have some experience of having taught in the secondary school. However, your advertisement does not mention the duration of the job and the details of salary. I would be grateful if you could let me know these details. Thank you, your faithfully. See, this is the formal letter. They had seen the ad in the paper and some few things are not clearly mentioned. So to know that information, this letter has been sent. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, the form and the structure of a formal letter. Formal letter content is.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am,
So now we'll, yes.
structure of covering letter, na, ma'am?
Sorry?
Structure of a covering letter.
Yes, structure of a covering letter. Yes. You can see in the page number 106. See, the covering letter which we send along with our CV is an important document. It makes the first impression on the employer who reads it even before you reading your CV. See, you send your CV, you prepare your CV and you have to send your CV to so-and-so organization. So you'll send your CV along with this covering letter. So before they used to see your CV, it comes from your covering letter. How you have to write a covering letter? Generally, covering letter should be typed and you can use common fonts such as Times New Roman or Verdana or with standard formatting. First, mention the address of yours, then go with the date. Date format should be like date and month, and the month should be mentioned fully, not in a, if it is September, don't write SCP. If it is December, don't write DEC. It should be fully written. And the year. Then to the person whom you are sending the letter. As I told you, you should, if you know the name of the person, you can write the name directly. Otherwise, you can write sir or respected sir, dear sir, like that. And the address, designation of the person. Who is he? Whether it's a principal or a director or a secretary, etc. It should be mentioned clearly. And the name of the institution and the address. Then you have to write the subject, like regarding your advertisement in the Times of India, whatever what you have to know and what is the subject of the covering letter, it should be mentioned clearly in the subject column. Then you can start the writing the covering letter. There in the page number 106, they had given one example. You can go through it. And some important points about the covering letter is this do's and don'ts. Okay. The covering letter is brief and structured. It avoids repetition of information covered in the CV. It is written in the first person. It addresses the relevant content person generally by name if it is given in the advertisement. It clearly mentions the reference of the advertisement and where and when you saw it. And you have to state the reason why you are applying for. And you have to briefly mention your last job, professional and academic training, which is relevant to the job. And you have to state whether you are interested in them as an employer. Then emphasizes why you are an employer may want to meet and employ you. It highlights your transferable skills and achievements and states how you can contribute to the employer's institution. And you have to mention some of your important personality traits which are useful and relevant to the job without sounding too self. And you have to create an overall positive impression in the covering letter. And you have to mention that you would like to discuss your suitability further in a personal interview. So these are the important points which you have to cover in your covering letter. Now we'll see the important language points to be noted. What are the language expressions we have to use, and we should not avoid we should avoid language expressions. In writing a covering letter, the language should be very simple and straightforward, because it is a covering letter, not your CV, to give a brief explanation. Already you have given the brief explanation about yourself and your educational, personal, extracurricular, everything in the CV. So don't use any brief explanations, just it should be simple and a straightforwardness. You should use the words to describe yourself or your work, which are positive, but without arrogance or exaggeration. At the same time, you should not be servile and too modest. Also, your language should not be pedantic or not too formal. It should have a friendly feel. For example, I'm a good teacher or I'm a good worker. I would like to discuss my CV with you. I request you to, or I hope you will. I have enclosed my CV. According to your advertisement, I want to know so and so information, and this is not mentioned here. I just want to know about this. I would be happy to receive an answer. I hope or I believe you will reply me. I'll get a reply from you. Like, I would be grateful if you could mention some more details about the job. And what are the expressions you have to avoid are I'm the best teacher or I'm the best worker. You cannot tell yourself like you as a best. You can tell as I'm a good teacher. I'm a like that, not a best. I beg you to call me for an interview. Please find enclosed my CV here with as per our advertisement, as per okay, an immediate reply would be appreciated. I trust I would be indebted to you. These are the language expressions which you should not use while writing a covering letter. And some important do's and don'ts in writing the covering letter. First, describe your personality traits useful for the job. Try to create a positive impression. They should get the positive impression while seeing the covering letter. Later, they will go for the CV. So they have to get a positive impression by seeing your covering letter. So it should be in a positive way. Be clear about what you can do. Showcase your personal professional skills. Highlight your work experiences. Don't repeat everything in your CV in the covering letter. Already you have given a brief expression, brief briefly in the CV already. So don't describe the same things or don't repeat the same things as well in the covering letter. It should be a simple and a straightforward. Don't don't apologize for not having all the skills required. You are applying for, suppose you are applying for the jobs and they have some scale which the person they wants to be have, they have to be like this, they have to be MBA graduate, or they have this 10 years experience, or there has to be like this, they have some expectations. So don't ever be apologize that I'm not an MBA candidate, or I don't sorry, I don't have 5 years experience. So don't, no need to apologize for this. Whatever you have, you can say I'm up to this. I have only 1 year experience, but I can do this. You can clearly mention. Don't try to create a false impression about yourself. Don't give false information about qualifications and work experience. Don't comment on the previous employers in the negative way. Don't ever give the false information about your qualifications which you have never done, or any work experiences. This may create a problem in your job for the further things. So don't ever give the false information. And as I told you, don't comment on the previous job which you have, employers or the institutions or the organizations. Don't give any your personal opinion or the negative things which you have previously worked. These are the some of the things which you should not do or don'ts in the writing a covering letter. Understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you reading your textbooks
Yes,
every
ma'am.
day?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, this is very simple, because English language is very simple, which will be used if you you will understand by reading itself.
Very simple one. And this is very important subject because how you have to mingle with the people in a society. That is our first unit. It means how you have to mingle, how you have to speak while you metaphor people, formal way, informal way, and the invitations. Next one is invitations. What are the language expressions you have to use to say sorry, to apologize, or to accept apologies, to say apologize to others, etc., etc. Everything is a very simple way. If you read the textbook, you'll understand everything. I'm just a guidance that I can help you. I'm just helping way. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Let's go for the next topic, interview techniques. See, our education completed, everything completed. We have sent our CV or resume, etc. We got the interval call, so we have to attend the interview. While attending the interview, what is the main thing or the how you have to prepare yourself before for the interview? Like how your body gestures should be, how your answer should be, etc. will be discussed in this. What are the skills you required for the interview, and what are the languages points for an interview, and what you have to do and what you have not to do in the interview time? That we'll see. First, types of interviews. See, generally interviews can be of two types. One second. See, there may be personal, which comes face to face, or interviews, or there may be the panel of interviews. See, the picture you can see, this is called the panel of interviews. Means 4 to 5 members will be sitting and they are taking the interview. This call it as a panel interviews with somewhat two or more people who will ask the questions and assess your knowledge and skills and ability. So many corporate companies often interview candidates telephonically. Most of the interviews will be done in the mobile itself. Generally, interviews takes place in the formal situation or the atmosphere. This can be a little stressful because you are aware that the interviewer are going to assess you. However, there is no need to feel tension if you are well prepared. Sometimes interviews may take place more informally over a cup of tea or some snacks. So this depends upon the company to which you have applied. Generally, interviews in India in the teaching field and even in many technical fields also are formal. Most of the times it takes place in a face-to-face mode and it is better to prepare well. See, if we prepared well for the interview, we'll be very confident. So we don't have any fear. Even though few, if they prepared well also, they feel tense when the interview will be face-to-face. In India, generally we have the interviews in this way, like face-to-face, and the questions will be asked. When you go for the organizations like schools or the colleges, they may ask the first they'll take the interview, then they'll take for demo how you will teach. They may ask some questions in between while you are explaining a topic. They may ask the questions. They'll check your knowledge and they check your subject and the language expressions which you are using, and they check your patience as well. They may ask several doubts or which are irrelated to the subject or the topic. And there will be more rounds, like first will be the interview, next will be the demo, then will be the HR round, etc. There will be different types of rounds which you have to face the interview. You will be confident when you are ready for the interview. And there should be the body language, like if you're sitting like a robot, don't never ever do the things like this. You should be more expressive while you are giving the interview. Like you have to express what your about your subject, your knowledge. It should be very expressive. It should be seen in your eyes and your confidence, your gestures, some hand gestures, facial expressions you have to show. No, never ever sit like a robot, no smile, nothing, not at all moving your body parts, sitting straight. No, never ever do like this. You have to be like a in an expressive way. You can see in the picture, the lady is giving the interview and the person is taking the interview. She is very in an expressive mode. Hand gestures, facial expressions, everything has to be clearly given. Whatever, whichever you're prepared, if you're tensed, etc., what is there, but you should be confident. Like whichever interview you're going, you should think that the job is yours. Nobody is there more than you. You know everything. You should be in this type of situation. You have to think like that. You should be more confident. Then, if you are
Excuse
not
me.
confident, yes, please.
Sorry to disturb you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will ask the questions that we are not able to answer. First time when we are going to that, particularly first time we are going to that job,
Actually, the
how to
questions
be,
will be very simple. First, they ask the questions. Introduce about yourself.
yes,
This question will be common for everyone. In any job, you will get the same question. Introduce about yourself. So this,
yes,
actually, we will mention everything in our CV. After seeing the CV also, they may ask this question, and we should not answer this question in the, like, we have to tell about our educational qualifications, whatever is mentioned in the CV. We have to tell about yourself, your personally, like, I'm belongs to so and so family. I'm born and brought up in this. I'm very confident. And what are your hobbies? What are your likes? This, like, not more stretchable. It should be like simple and a straightforwardness. And you should not say, I studied my PG in so and so university in this year and I get this type of marks. You should not mention this. First question will be like this, and there will be no questions like that you won't be able to answer. The questions will be like, they will check the personality of yours and your speaking skills, and whether you're confident or not, because your knowledge you will be checked, or whatever subject will be checked in your CV as well, because if you'll mention everything in your CV. How much you have studied, what is your qualification, what you can do, what you cannot do, everything will be mentioned in the CV. But the questions are raised like know about yourself, your skills, how much you can speak, and what are the language expressions you are using. So only they'll see this, your confidence. As I told you, they may ask the questions like, if you are going for a teacher job, they may ask you, in so and so class, when you are explaining, a boy or a girl did like this. At that of situation, what you will do? What is your reaction? The questions may be like this. This will be so simple. You can answer it in a with your previous experience, what you have done in the previous experience. If you have that type of situations, you can answer in such way. Got it?
but when we don't have experience, actually first
Experience.
time when
Okay.
I went to
First
the
time.
interview,
Okay.
they will ask
Hmm.
if the boy, some child is crying, what you are going to
Hmm.
do. Then I said I will make
Oh.
them sit and I will make him play something I told. But then if still he is crying, what you are going to do? Like that questions, typical questions. How can I answer
Typical
first
questions.
time if you are
Okay.
going?
This is the thing I told you. They may ask the questions because they want to know more about us, how we will react to such type of situations. This shows our personality, like how
Oh,
we make them to sit quietly. This shows means they want to check our inner mindset, how we react to such type of situations. So these
oh,
answers will promote us whether we are getting the job or not. The way we think,
oh,
how we'll make the small child to make him sit quietly. We can show them some videos. We can show them some stories, or talk to them personally, like talk to them like a child. See, I'm your friend. Why you're crying? If you cry, you're not looking good. If you cry, I will also cry. So some types of some language you have to use. You have to be friendly with them. You have to say, if you cry, you don't look good, so don't cry. You can speak like this. So whatever
oh,
reactions or answers you are giving, this shows your
oh.
personality.
Thank you,
The
ma'am.
questions maybe will be like this. Mostly 90% the questions will be like this. They will check our inner things, like how reactions, how we react
How
to the
we are
situation.
reacting.
Yes,
Okay.
those are the important things.
Okay. Thank you,
Because
ma'am.
our educational qualifications, everything will be mentioned in the CV. So that's
Yes.
not important, because see, if we do our PG, BTech, MTech, nothing is, it's not, depends on our personality, it not decides our personality, our
Yes.
mindset, how we react to the situation, what we are
Oh,
going to do. That is important for them.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how to prepare yourself before an interview? As I told you, you should be very confident. Whether you don't know, you're prepared, or you should be very confident. Like Nobody is there more than you, unless like your way of thinking should be like this, and you show your confidence in your face, in your eyes, in your voice as well. If you are not confident, you cannot raise your voice, you cannot speak loudly, and you cannot see in their eyes directly, and you cannot show your gestures. If you're confident, if you're only confident, you can do all this. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
First, what kind of job you have applied for, it is easy important, whether it is a technical job or a teaching job or a job for a secretarial assistance. So each area of work assumes that you have certain basic knowledge for that particular field or discipline. So you should revise whatever you have learned in your courses. You must try to keep track of the changes taking place in your field or recent times. So this is the academic preparation you have to prepare before an interview. First, you have to recall the knowledge related to the job which you are going to attend. And suppose if you applied for the post of geography teacher, you know to have the basic knowledge of discipline of geography, the diverse branches of geography. Excuse me, mute yourself.
Ma'am, you are the host. You can mute all of them together
Yeah,
at
I
once.
was just checking. Okay, let me do it. Done. Thank you, Clifford.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Sorry for that. I was joined the late class.
Okay.
Can I
Can you
get the
continue?
PPT?
You can? Sorry.
Can I get the PPT?
Yeah. I was just showing. Give me a second. So we are in the topic as how to prepare yourself for the interview.
Okay, ma'am.
So you have to revise your knowledge, previous knowledge related to the job, and that is your academic things which you are preparing first thing. And it would be a good idea if you go through the important points of educational courses and be prepared for the answer any questions that relate to the knowledge. And you should be able to explain the basic specific concepts or theories or the advances in your discipline. And you may be asked to comment on certain practical issues. For instance, look at the following extra from the interview. See, here they had given some examples. Can I read out? Like, if the interviewer are asking, Mr. George, tell me in the sentence, I'm living in Hyderabad from 2012, right or wrong? The questions may be like this. Then the George says, it is incorrect, sir. We should say, I have lived in Hyderabad since 2012. Yes, please.
Shall I read this?
Sorry,
I should read this.
I'm not getting you.
I should read this interview, ma'am.
Yeah. Please go on.
Expert, Mr. George, tell me, is the sentence I am living in Hyderabad from 2012 right or wrong? George, it is correct, incorrect, sir. We should say I have lived in Hyderabad since 2012. Expert, why? George, sir, the convention is English is to use the verb have lived or have been living when we start an action in the past and continue it up to the present. Expert, will you insist on teaching the rule to the students? George, well, sir, I will give the students many examples and a lot of practice in using such sentences. Then, if they ask, I will explain the rule.
Yes, very good. That's correct. Okay, here see they had raised the two, they have checked our knowledge and as well as they had raised the question whether you will include this in your teaching as well with the students. First they ask the questions, they ask one sentence and state it whether it is correct or wrong. And when George tell it is a wrong sentence and they framed is a correct sentence, and they said the rule when we have to use this and when we have to use this in the continuous present tense, past, etc. whatever. So what the expert asked, will you insist on teaching the rule same to the students? Then George said, yes, See, whatever explanation we are giving, we have to give more and more examples when it comes to the teaching part, and the examples which are related to the real life. Then the connection will be more. If you give the more and more examples apart from the textbook, that will be very helpful and gives a more extra knowledge to the students. And we have to explain about the rules as well. In English, we have so many grammatical rules. This we have to do, this we have to say, etc., etc. More we have rules in English. So you'll get so many doubts why we have to use this only here, not this, etc. Okay, next go for the background preparation. So if it is only a small local company, there may not be any information available about it, but on the website, then try to meet some people or the employees working there and gather some information about the company from them. You can make inquiries about how many people work there, what is the work atmosphere like, and how is the management. See, before we going to the interview or going to the job, we'll think like, so we'll go for the interview, we'll get the job, and we have to work in the same organization. So further, we have to make the background checking, like whether the organization good or not, whether they are giving the salaries correct, or do you have any work pressure, and how the employers are. You have to check the background first. Whether if it is a small company, you cannot find it is in a Google, and you have to go directly, and you have to talk to the people who are already working there, and you can take their opinion as well. If it is a big company, you can search in a Google, you have reviews and etc., so that you can check. You have to think, okay, this is a good company, okay, this is giving a good pay scale, and what is about the work pressure, what are the things, everything you can check clearly before you are going for the interview. This is a background preparation you have to do. Now, what are the skills required for the interview? If you're first if you are attending for the interview, what are the skills you required to attend an interview? First, the personal skills. So this is very, yes.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
I will read this now, ma'am.
You want to?
Read, ma'am.
Okay. Page
this
number
is right.
117. Okay.
Subha, Sina, standing at the door. May I come in, sir? Expert, yes, coming. Subha, Sina, entering. Thank you, sir. Good morning to you all. Expert, please take a seat. Sina, sitting on the chair. Thank you, sir. R. Venkat, entering the room. Hello, everyone. Expert, oh, okay, take a seat. R. Venkat pulls a chair noisily and sits down. Well, ask me anything.
So in these two situations, you can see the differences. First, in the first situation, the person have asked before entering the room, may I come in, sir? Then the expert says, yes, come in. Then after entering the room, thank you, sir. Good morning. You have to wish the person, once you enter the room, good morning, sir, or good morning, ma'am. Or if they are more than one, you have to wish good morning, all. Then expert says, please take a seat, sitting on the chair, and you have to say, thank you, sir. In the second one, you can see very clearly without asking the permission, entering the room, and they say, take a seat, then pulling the chair noisily, and you are sitting there, and you can ask me anything. This is too confident, too overconfident. This is not a behavior at all while you are entering attending the interview. So these are the two different situations. In the first situation, the Shubha behavior is so polite. First, he asks the permission to enter and does not take a seat unless he or she asks to sit. And she does not make a noise while sitting down and wishes all experts good morning. And here, when it comes to the Venkat, on the other hand, he enters the room without being asked to do and pulls out the chair noisily and tells the expert to ask him anything. That is not at all a good thing, and that is so not being polite, and that is so rude behavior. So if more people ask you the questions at the same time, say politely that you will answer them one by one. As I show in the picture, you may have the interviews like this, 3 to 4 members, like a chamber of members sitting in front of you, and they may ask the questions. If they are asking the questions one on one, then you may ask them politely, I would like to answer one after one. And never try to bluff or give wrong answers. It is possible that you will not have a right answer or the correct information. In such case, be frank that say that you don't know the answer and don't have the information. If you're honest, that will be very appreciated. Finally, when you finish the interview, thank the interviewer for calling you for the interview. Tell them that you enjoyed the interview. You also might say that you look forward to hearing from them. This shows that you're interested in the job. So finally, the interview has been completed. You have to thank the interviewer for calling you for the interview, and you have to say few sentences. This shows our like personality, that you are how you are interested in the job. Or if you are not saying and something, say thank you and you're just leaving. This shows your negligence, or you're not disinterested in this job, and etc. You have to use few sentences like thank you and I enjoyed the interview. I'm looking
Ma'am?
forward. Yes.
In this, page number 119,
Okay, 1 second. No, it is in 117.
one more interview. I will read, ma'am. One more interview is there. I will read that.
Okay.
After this completion, I will read this, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So this comes under the personal skills. So when it comes under the interpersonal skills, you need to be aware of certain conventions of polite behavior in a discussion when you appear in an interview. So they may be like all kinds of interviews. Some will ask you questions aggressively, some will be friendly, and some will be neutral. So however, you must be polite in your interaction. Being rude or too friendly does not really help. So you have to answer each question objectively. So you should be polite in the discussions, and your answer should be in a formal conversations and in the group discussions where you have discussed the conventions for politely agreeing or disagreeing with the people. And the important point to remember is that you should not air your personal opinions or the political beliefs in an interview, and try to avoid talking about your personal life and problems. This should be not at all a professional thing when you share your personal things or your personal opinions in the interview or the political beliefs. This should not at all be done. 1 second. While you are giving the interview, or suppose if you join in an organization or an institute, your personal information should not be shared. Your problems or the not a personal information means your problems, personal problems. It should not be shared with anyone, and your salary as well. It should not be discussed with anyone, and these points will be given you before you join the job, and it should be like a professional thing. You never ever share your salary or your problems with anyone, because nobody is interested in that. And your body language, as I told you, your body language, you should not be like a robot. You should be very expressive. You should show some hand gestures. You should be show your confidence on your eyes and your facial expressions. Whatever questions they ask, you should be very expressive. The way you walk, the way you sit and speak reflects on your self confidence. So, but that is not enough. Your body language, that is the gestures, the clothes you wear, the way you sit, and these are also very important points. And that is very better to wear more formal clothes that are trendy, flashy, or fashionable ones. Formal clothes generally make a good impression, as the interview also is in a formal situation. So while going for the interview, don't wear a jeans, t-shirts. Like, you should be in a formal way, because interviews are such a things like a formal way they'll conduct. So if we go in a t-shirts, collar t-shirts or collarless t-shirts, jeans, torn jeans, it's not like a trendy fashion thing. You have to go in a formal way. They will observe each and everything in which type of clothes you are coming for the interview in a formal way. It should be neat, iron, it should be tucked, tie, everything, it should be mentioned. So I want to share a small experience when I appear for the last interview, because as I told you, we should be very confident. Whichever interview we will go, we think that the job is ours. We should be confident like this, like the same way. So when I appeared in the interview, the first question, ma'am, first, these are what are the don'ts we have to do in the interview. I did all that. Like, I was grabbed the chair and I sat after ma'am told, but I put the hands on the table and she have a look on me. Then I had and sat back clearly, and she asked some questions which I don't know, and I told her very clearly, ma'am, I don't know this. I know till here. I don't know this. Then she explained very clearly. And she gave me the book, textbook, and she told me just have a look at the textbook and pick one topic. And if the students are of this type, how you will explain for those students? She asked face to face, and I have to read the textbook for 2 to 3 minutes. I have to check it, and I have to explain for the students if they are very small kids like grade 5 grade 4 what is the teaching method I should use for them. If they are very poor students, what is a technique, what is the way I use to teach them. So this type of questions I have been asked and explain whatever in my previous experience, whatever is there, I used everything and I told her. If we don't know anything related the question which were asked for the interviewer, we have to be frank. If we don't know, we have to say, don't, sorry, I don't know regarding this, I don't know this. Don't give any false answers or the answers which you don't know really. So this gives an impression. If we are very confident, if we are very frank, then they will, it gives a good impression. Okay, this person is so and so, he is confident. Okay, he don't know means he is telling in a positive way. They may get this type of impressions. So when you take a chair, avoid making too much noise. Sit comfortably with your back straight and your palms on your knees. You can keep your file of papers, original degree certificates, etc. on the table in front of you. Generally, the head of the interview committee will ask you for the file. Hand it over politely. Maintain a good eye contact. Don't avoid looking at the interviewer in the eye. Don't fidget. Try to avoid making too many hand movements and gestures. Try to avoid making too many. You have to make show the hand gestures, but don't show much. Everything see, not only this, anything should be not more. It should not cross the limits. And what are the language skills? Don't just talk, say something. That is, your answer should be not too long, like a pointless chatter. Your answer should be precise to the point. Speak at normal speed and don't be too slow or too fast. See, I know when I speak very fast. It is too fast and I cannot control it. So if I want to speak, I have to control my speed. I have to very speak loud, slowly, in a slow way. The same way you have to speak in a normal way, where it is not too speed or it is not too slow. Take care that your pronunciation is clear. You need not to be hurried to give answers. Think well and answer in a simple way. Don't use very long sentences because very often we lose track how we began. You can use technical terminology or words when you answer questions and be prepared to explain such words. If they ask you to explain them in simple language, and give explanations and examples wherever it is necessary to do so. It is better not to use very formal or the taboo expressions when you speak. You should avoid cracking jokes and making flippant comments. Your nervousness and stress or tension should not at all reflect in your speech or in your face. Since it is your own area of expertise, be fluent in your speech. The ease in your way of speaking creates a favorable impression on the interviewer. Your own educational qualifications, work experience, and the interest. See, interviewer, where have you come from? I have come from Hyderabad. Okay, tell us about Hyderabad is famous for. If you ask the questions like this, tell us about Hyderabad. Okay, tell us Hyderabad is famous for. Hyderabad is famous for what?
Charminar.
Charminar. Only
Biryani.
biryani. We have the answer should be Hyderabad is famous for Charminar, biryani, Irani chai, Hyderabadi biryani, Irani chai, and so many different types of people from different places they live here. Not only Telangana people, the people from different types of states live here. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, educational qualifications and the work experience and the interest. And awareness of your own strength and weakness. See, this is the important one. So if the interview, you should be aware of your own strength and your own weakness. See, as I told you, yes.
Shall I do this?
Page number 120. And awareness of your own strength and weakness. See, you should know your strengths and weakness. As I told you, my strength is my confidence, and my weakness is whatever I speaks too fast. So when I speak too fast, the pronunciation may slip, and the person who are listening, they may not understand sometimes. So this is my weakness. My strength is my confidence. So you should know yourself, what is your strengths and your weakness, and you should highlight your strengths and go. You should highlight your strengths. Okay. So here they have given the interview. First, the interviewer asked, "Well, Mr. Rashid, why don't you think you would be good for the job?" Then Rashid, "Sir, I love my work. I have the knowledge and skills necessary for this job. Also, I'm happy to work with other people. I'm sure I can contribute to the company in several ways." So Rashid answer indicates several good qualities, as you can see. First, he said he is very much interested in the work, and he said that he has knowledge and skills which are necessary for the job. Also, he said that he feel happy if he get the job to work with the other people as well, and I'm sure I can contribute to the company in several ways. He also stresses the fact that he can work with other people. Yes.
Down
Yes.
one I will read now. Interview.
Okay.
So, Mr.
Strong.
Mr. Joshi,
Okay. Yes,
do
go
you
on.
think you, yes, ma'am?
Yes, go on. Go on.
Interview. So,
Continue.
Mr. Joshi, do you think you are best suited for this job? Joshi, well, I have a good degree and also work experience. Interviewer, suppose your colleagues give you two suggestions and advice. Would you like that? Joshi, I don't really think so. I will listen to the boss, but not my qualities. I would not like anyone to interfere with my work. Interviewer, but suppose you are the team leader and your team members give you suggestions. Yoshi, if I am the team leader, they should listen to me.
So this conversation basically shows a very rudeness. See, whichever job you are, you should first accept or listen to your colleagues, not because not your boss is not only the boss which you have to listen. Suppose we can get the suggestions from our colleagues because they sees us very close to us. While we are doing our job or taking the classes. So these are the people who can see us very closely. If they are giving any suggestions, we have to take that in a positive way. Don't think, oh, he's my colleague, he's equal to me, why should I take his suggestion? Don't ever think in a such a way. Whenever you start accepting this type of suggestions, you will grow more. Don't never give this rude type of answers. And then there are some weaknesses also. For instance, impulsiveness, temper. One interview is there. These are the do's and don'ts in the interview. Do's and don'ts.
I will read this, ma'am.
Okay. What is your weaknesses? Are there some high expectations from others, rudeness, lack of empathy, or the understanding? These are the weaknesses. Now, some do's and don'ts in the interview. First. Yes.
Interviewer, Mrs. Meghana, you said you are organized a program for training children in music. Can you give us the details of this program, Meghana? I don't remember, sir. Interviewer, okay, which skills qualify you for this job of a warden for this hostel? Meghana, I am a woman and secondly, I am educated. Interviewer, you think so? You think that is enough, Meghana? Of course, why not? Interviewer, Mr. Pratyush, tell us about the program you organized as the secretary of the Bal Sangham. Yes, sir, I organized two election competitions, Mahal camp, and one sports meet for disabled children. This was during 2014 to 2016. Interviewer, but this is a different job. Why do you think to qualify for the job of a warden for the boys' hostel? Yes, sir, I understand the issues of the students at this age. I am a patient listener. I will be able to understand and solve their problems. I can initiate some good performance programs for them.
Okay, thank you. So if you compare the two extracts, you will see the Meghana in extract 1 unable to explain her work and she's careless and her answers show the lack of sincerity. I don't remember. It's not a good answer as well. Please mute yourself.
దాని నుంచి స్ట్రైట్ పోవాలి ఎండింగ్ వరకు లాస్ట్ షాప్ వరకు అక్కడ మొత్తం చున్నీలే ఉంటాయి అందులో ఒక కట్ వర్క్ చున్నీ కొనుక్కో రెడ్ కలర్ కొనుక్కో
Manisha, go on mute.
Okay, let's continue. So she's careless and her answers shows a lack of sincerity, and this is not a good answers at all. So the reason she is giving for her selection, I'm a woman and I'm educated, these are not sufficient. So this is not a very good choice. If the interviewer taking the interview, they will not at all to select that type of persons. In the other hand, the Paritosh gives the positive answers. He mentioned his work with the Bal Sangam with dates, and he also gives good reasons why he will be a good choice for the warden post. And he is confident, sincere, and enthusiastic about the work. This creates a good impression on the interviewer. And here are the some do's and don'ts for the interview. First, be relevant to the questions which they are asked. Be honest and sincere. Don't give any false information or the false answers. Be enthusiastic. Show your enthusiastic in your expressions, means you want to learn something or you are very enthusiastic, want to know more. Stress your skills and achievements. Answer in a relaxed way. If you don't know an answer, be frank and admit it. Thank the interviewer for calling you for the interview. And what are the things you should not do at the interview? Don't be nervous. Don't give merely yes or no as an answer. Don't lie and try to hide your ignorance. Don't talk about your personal problems. Don't talk about controversial topics. Don't complain about your past employers. So in the do's also, these last one here and here are the very important thing. First, thank the last thing, you have to thank the interviewer for the calling for the interview. And the important thing which you have to should not do at all is do not complain about your past or the previous employers or the organization. Don't give any your personal or the negative opinion regarding your previous organization or the employers. And some of here I've mentioned some of the common interview questions. First thing, as I told you, tell about yourself, like skills, academic record, qualifications, experience, etc. And the question may be, why did you apply? What is the reason you are applying for this institution? Why they ask the question, why you choose our organization and why you are interested in our organization? What you will do if you get this job? And for the next coming year, where you will be if I give the job for the next upcoming year, where you will be in the position, which position you will be, what are your strengths, what are your weakness. And the questions like, do you think you are too old or the too young, or you are inexperienced, or you are new for the job, and what do you know about us, and your strengths like skills, knowledge, ability to patronize, problem solving skills, professional expertise, leadership skills, positive attitude, ability to work under the pressure, and your weakness, your impulsiveness, your temper, your expectation from others, interpersonal skills. So here we came to the end of this topic. I want to continue the class for next 5 minutes. I want to just explain the letter writing. One of the student asked in the last class, in page number 33, 32, they have clearly given how you have to write a formal letter. I just want to explain for 5 more minutes, and I will end up my class, and this will be our last class. Later on this, please read the textbook every day so that you can get some knowledge. By reading the textbook, most of the things you will understand, so that you can include in your personal way of living this. Let's start formal letter writing. First, we have to begin the letter with the street address of the sender, and this is followed by the city, state, and the postal pin code. After the sender address, we have to write the date. We can write the date as date, month, and the year. And don't ever abbreviate the month. As I told you, you should not write a shortcut, like if it is June, write JUN, or August AUG, December DEC. Never ever mention like that. You have to mention the full month. June, July, July, like that. Beneath the date, the individual's name to whom the letter is addressed is written. After this, the next line, we will write the designation of the person. Later, we have to write the name of the organization, postal address along with the PIN code. And note that in the addresses of the sender and the receiver, we do not include commas anywhere. We should never use commas when we are writing the address. The next component in the letter deals with how you address the recipient. If we don't know the name of the person, then we write as dear sir or dear madam. If we know the person, then we address the person only with their surname. For example, if you are writing to one Mr. John North, you would in the salutation say Mr. North. If you are addressing the lady, writes as Mrs. Sharma. Irrespective of the marital status of the lady, it is very important that you should spell it as Miss, like the names of the recipient and the company exactly as they spell it. The name of the company carries a person name. For example, the Tatas and the Birlas are the family names. They may be called as Miss Tata and Sons and Sons. But this is old fashioned. You must copy the name of the company very carefully from their letterhead. Wrong spellings may be seen as carelessness and disrespect and may cost you the business. So after the salutation, state the subject of the letter. This line should give a receiver a clear sense of why you are sending a letter. So what is the purpose of the letter? That should be should be mentioned clearly in the subject column. So by seeing the subject, they will get the idea what is the purpose of the letter. And this should be brief and concise. The introductory paragraph of the letter of the inquiry should be give details of your firm organization to the reader. Follow this up with the purpose of the letter, that is why you are writing the letter. The next section of the letter should be include a description or the specification of the goods that you require. It is always better to explain what you want the recipient to do. The next important point in the letter is a statement explaining the sender's terms and methods of payment. End the letter with an optimistic note and request for an early reply. The last part of the letter is a closing. You have started off the letter by saying dear sir or dear madam. Then you end the letter with faithfully. On the other hand, if you are address a person with their surname and end the letter with your sincerely. If it is mentioned dear, you have to mention last in the faithfully. If you have mentioned their name like Mr. and Mrs., then you have to mention your sincerely. Remember not to include a comma after the word faithfully or sincerely. Sign beneath this and type your name. And include enclosure after the signature and mention what you're enclosing. And one important aspect of the formal letter of communication is that it should cover all the essential points, be clear and cautious, sound sincere, and create the right impression. All this you have in textbook page number 33. Just go through it and start practicing the writing the letters, formal and the informal letters, invitations, oral invitation, writing invitations, accepting and rejecting apologies, and showing the condolences and sympathy, etc. Start practicing from today, because you may ask the questions. You have given a situation, how you react in such type of situations, how you have to apply and write a letter to and so organization for this. The questions may be like this. So prepare well for and read the textbook. That's the end of the class.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you please proceed?
Okay. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
this is
Happy
Sai
New Year.
Lakshmi. Okay. Wish you happy new year advance.
Happy New Year, ma'am. Advance.
Happy new year. Thank you.
Happy
Okay,
New Year,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Happy New Year, ma'am.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.
Happy New Year, ma'am.
Happy new year.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you explain the page number 26, C1?
1 second. Rewrite the sentence using the form of the word in brackets so that they have similar meaning. The first one is done for you. See, he bought a laptop for 60,000 rupees. He paid 60,000 rupees for the laptop. This house is too expensive. The house, see, all these answers will be given last. You have to rewrite the sentences, which are the words given. The same meaning will be there. See, he paid 60,000 rupees for the laptop. Instead of pay, they use the paid. This house is too expensive. The cost of this house is too expensive, you can write. I don't think you should buy expensive antiques just for the sake of displaying wealth. Don't waste your money for the antiques or just for the sake of displaying wealth. I'm afraid I don't have enough cash on me right now. Can I please borrow 1,000 rupees from you? Can I lend 1,000 rupees from you? I don't have enough cash. I wonder how Ravi could afford this car. This car is so expensive. How the Ravi could afford this? The company pays Rohit about 1,00,000 of rupees per month. Rohit is earning 1,00,000 of rupees per month. You have to use these words and you have to rewrite these sentences. The meaning will be the same, but the words, the sounds has been changed. That's it.
Okay. Ma'am,
Yes.
these invitations and all we had to write in the box manner.
Invitations.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Apologizing.
1 second. In which page there are invitations? In the second unit, right? Usually we write it in a box. Yes. Okay, done. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bangula, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.